Okay, this is the third and final way for solving systems. We've done graphing, we've done substitution, and today we're going to do elimination. Solving systems, solving systems elimination. Combination is another one that it's called. Sometimes you'll hear it called combination. So I'm going to put both words in there. Okay, so that's the third way. Remember, number one, we did graphing, and we did graphing on the calculator and by hand. Be sure that you can do both. Okay, then we did substitution. Substitution, that's where we solved for X or Y. It was your choice, whichever one was easiest to solve for. Solve for X or Y, and then after you do that, you plug it back into the other equation and you find the other ordered pair. So that was the second way, and then this is the third way. So we now have three different ways as soon as we finish with this lesson today. So again, I'm going to take this easy and slow on the first ones. These are going to be very, very simple, okay? 4x minus y equals 7, and 2x plus y equals 5. Now then, again, I am getting these problems from some in your packet, and I believe that your packet is labeled Topic 1-6. Topic 1-6. So if you want to get that and follow along, you can, or you can just copy these examples into your notes. Might be a good idea to copy them. Sometimes it helps when you're writing things down. Okay, when you use combination or elimination, it's just exactly what it says. You're going to combine two equations. Here's the first one and the second one. You're going to combine those by adding them together and making a variable drop out. Now these are set up very, very nicely because if you'll notice, see your y's, okay? The y's have opposite signs on them. Anytime you've got opposite signs on a variable, that's the variable you want to make drop out. This one, when we add these together, you add a negative y and a positive y, this is set up perfectly because the y's are going to drop out. So this is what you do. You just add these together because it's set up perfectly. Later we'll have to make the setup, but right now it's already set up for you. So you add these together. 4x plus 2x is 6x. The y's cancel out. Equals 7 plus 5 is 12. You divide both sides by 6, and x is equal to 2. Now remember, this is a system. We're trying to see where they cross, whether they're parallel or whether they're coinciding. And if they do cross, there's going to be an ordered pair, an x and a y. Right now we only have an x. So what you want to do is you want to choose one of these equations. I think I'll choose this one right here because it has less numbers to deal with. There's a positive and only multiplying by 2, so I think I'll choose that one. You can plug it into either one though. Doesn't matter. I'm going to plug it in wherever I see an x. So that's going to be 2 times my x value, and I know my x value is 2, so I'm going to plug in a 2. Again, I'm plugging it into this one right here. So 2 times 2 plus y equals 5. All right, so that's 4 plus y equal 5. And then I subtract 4 from both sides. Those cancel, and it looks like y is going to equal 1. Okay, because these are gone and 5 minus 4 is 1. So y is equal to 1. And there is my ordered pair. So I'm going to list it as that. The 2 comes first as the x, and the 1 is second. And that's where these two lines cross. So we've solved a system using combination elimination. Now then, we'll solve one where the x's drop out. That would be negative x minus 4y equals negative 11, and then x minus 6y equals 11. Now, if you'll notice on this one, your x's, see how they're going to cross out if you add those together? So that's what I'm going to look for. I'm going to just add these together. It's already set up. These go away. -4, -6, add those, that's -10y equals -11 plus 11 is 0. Then I divide both sides by -10, and don't be scared of this because y can equal 0. And there you go. There's your y value. But we're not finished because we're looking for an x and a y. Choose whichever one you want to. I'm going to choose this one right here. Again, just because it doesn't have any negatives, it's going to be easier. So in place of x, I'm going to put nothing because that's what I'm looking for. Minus 6 times, what is y? Y is 0. And that equals 11. Okay, so that's gone because that's just x minus 0, so x equals 11. And there is my ordered pair, 11, 0. And that's where these two lines cross. So those two are very, very easy because they're very straightforward. Now then, we're going to look at some where we kind of have to set them up where they don't fall out quite as easily as those did. Okay. And these are coming off of topic 1.7. Topic 1.7. It is still combination elimination, but you're going to have to do some work to get these to fall out because they don't fall out quite as easily. So topic 1.7. Okay, now then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write down the problem. X plus 4y is equal to -18 and 2x minus 3y, and that is equal to 8. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to look at your system and you're going to say, okay, if I just added these together, would a letter drop out? Well, no, it wouldn't, because if I added x and 2x, that's 3x. If I added 4y and -3y, that's y. So nothing's going to drop out. I'm going to have to make that happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the shortest route. I'm going to look at these two right here. All I would have to do is to multiply my top equation by -2, and everything would drop out. So I'm going to put a big parentheses right there, and I'm going to put a -2 outside. And then I'm going to multiply. The top becomes -2x, and then I'm multiplying this by -2 as well, so that's -8y. And I'm going to multiply this one by -2. -2 times -18 is +36. And then I do nothing to the bottom except rewrite it because it's going to cancel right out for me. Okay, now let's add them together like we did on the ones that were set up for us earlier. We had to make this happen. Add these together. These go away, which is what we wanted, and we get -11y equals 44. Divide both sides by -11, and we get -4. Now we've got the y, we don't have the x. We've got to plug it back in. You may plug it back into this one or this one. It makes no difference, whichever one you want to plug it into. I think I'll plug it into the first one. Okay, so that's going to be x plus 4y. So I'm going to put 4, and I'm going to plug in the y that I found, which is this right here. Oops, I thought I had my highlighter. I'm going to plug that -4 in. So 4 times -4, okay, equals -18. So that's going to be x minus 16 equals -18. Then I'm going to add 16 to both sides. And x is going to be equal to -18 plus 16 is -2. And there's my other answer. So I'm going to put it in an ordered pair, -2 and -4. And that's my answer. And I had to work to get it. It didn't just automatically drop out. I had to make that decision. Okay, let's go to the next screen and let's try another one that we have to work on. Here's 4x plus 5y equals 7. Again, this is called elimination or combination, whichever one you prefer. Just be sure you know it can be called either one. Equals negative 18. Okay, now then, we want to make a decision. This one's going to have a lot more work to do because it's not completely ready to drop out. I like to look at my signs, and if I ever have an opposite sign, I always make that letter drop out. I make the y drop out because it saves me from having to multiply through by a negative. So I ask myself, what do 5 and 2 both go into? Well, they both go into 10. So I'm going to multiply this whole side right here, this whole equation, by 2 because it's going to give me a positive 10. And I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 5 because it's going to give me a negative 10. Once I do that, then my y's are going to drop out. So I'm going to multiply everything. So that's going to be 8x plus 10y equals 14. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply the bottom one times 5. So that's 30x minus 10y equals, and 18 times 5 with the negative is 90. Okay, so I'm going to add these together. See how my y's drop out now? 38x is equal to negative 76. And when I divide both sides by 38, x is equal to negative 2. Okay, now then you've got to make a decision. You've got to plug it back up into either one of those. It doesn't matter. Why don't we put it in this one right here? No, I think it might be easier to put it in the top one. Let's put it in the top one. That's going to be 4 times x, and our x is a negative 2, plus 5y equals 7. So that's negative 8 plus 5y equals 7. Now I need to add 8 to both sides. So I have 5y equals 15. So y is 3. And there are my two values that I was looking for. I'm going to put them in a big ordered pair and highlight them for you. Negative 2 and positive 3. Now let's highlight it. Okay, because that's our answer, and we'll put a big box around it. So negative 2, 3 is a solution to our system. That's where our system crosses. Okay, that's combination and elimination. One of each type. I'm going to do another video in a minute for special cases, and then that will be all for substitution, elimination, combination, graphing.